Hopefully this video doesn't go for as long as my last one did, because I had to edit through over an hour's worth of footage and that was a shit time. So I'm gonna try and get through this really quickly. And yeah, again, I have so much shit. So much shit. I'm gonna start this off by saying that I'm by no means an astrology expert. I just want to learn a bit more, and that's why I'm doing these videos, so that I can kind of like do a little bit of research and get to know all of the different signs. This video will probably apply to you a little bit more if you are a Libra sun, moon or rising sign. Check your birth chart. I'll put a link in the description of a website where I get my birth charts from. Cafe Astrology is pretty good. Yeah, I'm just gonna get into it. So, Libras. If you are a Libra sun, you were born between the 23rd of September and the 22nd of October. Libra is a masculine sign ruled by the element air. I've also seen some people label Libra as a masculine and feminine sign because it's like the scales, it's, you know, a bit of both. But for the most part, most people say that Libra is a masculine sign. Libra's ruling planet is Venus, which is the planet of love and beauty, and it is symbolized by the scales. And Libra is also the only sign that is represented by an inanimate object, which makes Libra a little bit of a different sign. I mean, all of them are different, but they're different in their own way, like the other signs. Some stones and crystals that are associated with Libra include topaz, opal, aquamarine, jade, and tourmaline. I'm just going to go into a little bit of history when it comes to Libra. Libra season actually starts at the spring equinox, or if you're not in the southern hemisphere and you're in the northern hemisphere, it would be the autumn equinox. If you don't know what an equinox is, it's basically a point in the year where day and night is equal. And this is pretty likely to be why Libra is actually represented by the scales, because obviously it represents balance, and it's like a balance of day and night and the, you know, balance. Apparently the constellation of Libra used to be seen as a part of Scorpio's tail and a part of Virgo as well. This kind of also reinforces the fact that it's like a balancing sign, because it's like pulling the two signs together in a way, or acting as like a halfway point. The name Libra actually means weighing scales in Latin, and was usually depicted to be the scales held by the Greek goddess Astrea. Libra was recorded by Ptolemy in the 2nd century and also dates back to the Babylonian times. The Babylonians called it Zibanana. I probably didn't say that right at all. Zibanane. Sorry, I'm not trying to make fun of them, but basically that word means the balance of heaven, and that was recorded at around 1000 BC. So now we know a little bit of history behind Libra. We're going to talk about the personality traits. Now, I know a lot of Libras, and I feel like after doing this and then relating it back to the people that I know, I'm like, I know what's going on. I understand Libra. I have a lot of Libra friends. My great grandmother is a Libra, and I have dated a Libra. So I know what's up. My Venus sign is actually in Libra, so I feel like I kind of get it, you know? But here's some good juju about Librans. Libra is a very social sign. So they love people, they're super charming, and I mean like super charming. They have really good social skills and can hold a conversation, and not just like a normal small talky kind of conversation. You can have a really deep conversation with a Libra about the world, about fucking aliens, about your feelings, like anything. Libras are very, very easy to talk to. You can confide in them. They're just really good talkers and have great social skills. They're not afraid to talk about themselves, and they don't really hold back in conversations. They'll make you feel super comfortable as well. So even if you're having these really deep ass conversations with them, you feel like you can literally tell them anything, because they're just chill and they've got this aura about them. They're super funny. They have their sense of humor just completely sussed. They can bring their sense of humor out to literally anyone, and everyone's just cool with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, no matter how offensive or non-offensive their humor is, it's just, they can make everyone laugh. And they use their humor to calm tensions as well. They're very much about harmony and peacekeeping, so they can sometimes use their humor to like diffuse a situation, or even if they've pissed someone off, they will try and get out of it by like making jokes and shit. They're very good mediators as well, so they're usually the one that's stuck in between the two people who are fighting and is trying to like, you know, stop them from fighting. They're very good at seeing both sides of the situation. Like, all of this stuff, just kind of relate it back to the scales, like harmony, balance, being in the middle. It's all related back to the scales really. They're also all about justice and the greater good, so it's very unsurprising when they get involved in like community activities or something that is beneficial to a whole big group of people or the world. Back to them being social, Libras just really want the best for everyone. They love people and helping other people and feeling like of use to others, or just being around people in general. They're more about other people than they are about themselves in ways. And on the flip side of that, they can sometimes really struggle with alone time because most of their plans that they make revolve around being around other people. So when they have their alone time, they can be really like, what am I doing? They have a really strong sense of morality as well. So if they see something happen that they don't agree with, even though they're the peacemakers and they're all about harmony and people not fighting, and, you know, trying to get everyone to see each other's points of view and move on with life. If they see someone do something that they don't agree with, they will fucking go off. Every Libra that I know sticks up for themselves 100%. While this can be a really good thing because, you know, Libras will always back you up, it can also be a bad thing because they have a tendency to insert themselves into other people's shit where it's not needed. I feel like I have to make a little disclaimer as well. I'm not like at all targeting a singular person at all when I'm talking about this. Google it. If you don't agree with this, find out for yourself. It's on Google. Read a book. This is just your sign. I'm sorry. I didn't choose when you were born. But generally, Libras are really lovely people who just love the company of others, whether that's their friends, their family, or their partners. They love giving, sharing with people, and impressing the fuck out of people. That's just their vibe. Libras are also super artistic. Now, if you're a Libra and you're like, oh, I'm not artistic at all, artistic doesn't necessarily mean that you know how to draw or you know how to play piano. Being artistic can mean that you're good at cooking, you have an eye for detail when it comes to fashion or decorating your home. You can even just have a good taste in music. You can like gardening. Anything involved with the arts or creating something, Libras usually have something. And while we're still on the art topic, Libras love aesthetics. They love the way that shit looks. Aesthetics is something that Libras really appreciate, and that'll be the first thing that they are drawn to really when it comes to like a relationship or a friendship. It's really just the way that someone looks. Libras are friendly, they have good manners, they are polite, and they're just really good to talk to really. They're really supportive of their friends and family, and they're always happy to boost the confidence of their friends and family and to talk them up and tell them to do the things that they really want to do. So they really love hyping people up. Libras usually have a really wicked sense of style and they know how to dress themselves properly. My Nana, for example, is always dressed well. Like even if we're gonna have a barbecue, she's always got some like really cool clothes on, and I've always thought like when I'm her age I still want to be dressing that good. Now I'm just like, oh, it's because she's a Libra, there's no explanation, right? When Libras are in a relationship, they are very open and loving as well. So they're the type of people to just let everyone know about like how great their partner is. Like they'll almost parade them a little bit. They don't like hiding their partner away. They feel like their partner is like the salt to their pepper. Sorry, that sounded really cheesy, but they feel like their partner is like the missing piece of their puzzle. It just completes the picture they have in their head of their life. So they feel like their partners are really a part of them. And they're just a romantic sign like that because they are ruled by the planet Venus. And really this kind of goes for their friends and family as well. They think really highly of the people that they choose to have in their life. They're just super loyal and committed to those people. Now we're going to get on to some of the weaknesses / challenges that Libras face. Like I said before, how they're more about other people than they are about themselves. They can be very dependent on other people. Whether that's a friendship, relationship, or a family member, they depend on other people a lot, whether that's their opinions or something physical or just having people as company. They just depend a lot. Libras are also indecisive as fuck. The reason for this is because they're a little bit more concerned about what other people want to do. They can literally leave things to the last minute because they haven't decided anything. Libras love to spend their money on dumb shit as well. They're all about aesthetics and artsy things and materialistic stuff. So money to Libras sometimes can just be like monopoly money because they are an air sign. They don't really think about stability too much, and they're, you know, they just love spending shit. They can also be very manipulative. This comes along with the fact that they're so charming and easy to talk to, and they just have those social skills set in them, like it's their DNA, it is very easy for them to manipulate someone. I'm not saying that all Libras do this, or even that when it happens it's like a really outward evil thing. It can be something really underlying that they don't even think about themselves, but it's very easy for a Libra to convince you that what they want is actually what you want. And if they do something really shitty to someone, they'll convince themselves that it was the right thing to do, and they'll just be kind of oblivious to the whole situation because they just think they were right. They're constantly seeking the approval of other people. Like I said, they rely on other people's opinions. Now, because they're all about justice and fighting the unjust in the world, they can have a hard time trying to separate their emotions from their causes. So world issues and stuff can really get them worked up and put them in a bad place. If you're watching the news with a Libra, they'll probably comment a lot about what's going on. I mean, like, who wouldn't? But for them, it's to a point where they get really fired up, and they will go on rants and stuff about politics and whatever, and you know, that's all well and good. I feel like we should all care about what's going on in the world, but on the negative side of that, they can really put themselves into a hole because of what is happening in the world. They'll think about it too much and they'll make themselves upset pretty much. They also have a tendency to wallow in self-pity, and they can have a bit of a victim mentality. Like I was saying about them relying on other people quite a lot and thinking of others more than they think about themselves. Sometimes they don't really know how to deal with alone time and being alone, or what to do with themselves. They can enjoy the company of others more than they enjoy the company of themselves. They can have a problem with feeling like the victim in a situation instead of actually getting on with things or doing what they can to try and get themselves out of shitty situations. A lot of the time they will wallow in it instead, and they're not really too motivated to do much about it. They'll just kind of sit in sadness, and yeah. They can also be very insecure and impatient. They often feel like something is missing. Like, they'll have everything that they need, but they feel like there's something missing a lot of the time, and they can really find it hard to appreciate the present. So even if they get everything that they want, when they get there, they just sometimes have a hard time appreciating it and being in that moment. Now, because Libra is an air sign, they can be really detached. Now, Libras apparently have a tendency to have quite a lot of relationships in their lifetime. They love love. Well, they love the idea of being in love pretty much. Now, when I say that they are detached, I mean they're physically there with their time and their energy, but they're not really attached with their heart as much. When they get into a relationship, they're thinking more about, like, what does this person look like next to me? What can this person bring into my life? And while that can be a good thing, they can focus more on like the materialistic side of things, and like, oh, like we look cute together, or like, oh, wouldn't it be cute if we were in a relationship, and you know, like I would look so good next to this person. Libras definitely are capable of loving very deeply, but they can get caught up in the aesthetics of a relationship, which isn't very good when it comes to structure. Basing relationships off of how you might look together, or the idea of a relationship in your head, is definitely going to be different than what your relationship is actually going to look like in real life. So it doesn't create a lot of structure for a relationship to last over a long period of time. Libras also love holding grudges. If you cross a Libra, they will not fucking forget it. Once they make their mind up about you, that's it. That's pretty much it. You can't do anything about it. They're also very good escapists, so they will look at things like art and film and music, and they will use the hell out of it to try and escape from the world and live in their little fantasy picture perfect world that they have in their head of how life is supposed to be. No shade, by the way, no shade. I've got Libra in my chart, so I'm not singling anyone I know out, but also if the shoe fits, lace it up. So I've just got a few more things to note before I wrap this up. Libras love flirting, and this comes along with their charm. They do it without even thinking. It's just a part of their personality. Like, even when you're like friends with them, they've just got this like fun, flirty vibe. You can get very drawn into a Libra. Libras love luxury and expensive shit. Like I said, Libras love spending their money on needless things, but also they can find a lot of fun out of this because they love traveling and doing fun, bougie shit. My great grandmother is in her 80s, and she just came back from a massive cruise in Europe, living it the fuck up. She's got luxurious tastes, You see a house, it's just nice and all well set out and aesthetically pleasing. Libras also love debating and proving a point. They love sharing, whether that's their food, their art, any of their hobbies. They just love sharing it and putting it out into the world. They love people, they love being social, they love giving and receiving heaps of compliments, they love romance, they love the aesthetics in life, they love deep conversations about the world. And yeah, essentially the biggest thing I think that Libras need to work on is being alone and enjoying their own alone time and taking time for themselves to get to know themselves, really. Like I've been saying, they love people and they love being social and stuff. They do really need to take the time to get used to being alone and enjoying their own company. And that's when they will attract other people into their life that will match their juju energy. And that's also how they will attract long-lasting relationships as well. Because like RuPaul says, if you don't love yourself, then how the hell are you gonna love somebody else? Some famous Libras include Cardi B, Will Smith, Eminem, Hugh Jackman, Kim Kardashian, Avril Lavigne, Gwen Stefani, Hilary Duff, Snoop Dogg, and my favourite, A$AP Rocky. Oh la 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 la, oh my god, A$AP Rocky, fucking yes. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Next I will be doing Scorpio. This is the part in the video where I say all that cringy shit. So if you like this video, feel free to give it a like because it genuinely helps with something, I think. If you want to get one little notification whenever I upload a video, click the little bell, just because I don't make videos all that often, so that's probably the best way you're gonna find out about whether I have one or not. All my social media shit is in the description. If you want to see pictures of me and my cat and my food, that's where you should go. But yeah, I hope that you have a lovely day and I'll see you in my next video.